I felt a disconnect between what they were going through and what I was going through in high school, though, which I, on the page, didn't necessarily notice as much as I did when I saw it. I was like, oh, like races at a ravine off a cliff, and like people just have access to guns, and when you don't have friends, you find those guns and shoot at people. Those sort of things were very different than what my high school experience was. Yeah. So in that, I was like, this is a different time, or possibly the same time, just not in the right place. But I still enjoyed it.
I also felt a big disconnect. I mean, like we were saying before, maybe we lived a certain sheltered style of life in some ways.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you said, the racing cars, I don't know why anyone would do that, but good for them, good for that time, I guess.
They stole those cars. It's not like they were cars that they were like, oh, we're going to drive our cars to the cliff. No, we're going to go and steal cars, bring them here, and then possibly kill ourselves.
Yeah, that's it, eh? And earlier, they're just like, we're going to have a casual knife fight in front of the planetarium. Why not? This is what we do. Give them a knife.
Yeah. Somebody's got one. We all have one. Somebody throw them a knife.
Yeah, exactly. I went to St. Pat's, and that in some ways, at least at the time, it had a reputation. I think a lot of the reputation was overblown.
Sure.
There was a knifing at one point outside of the school by one of the kids who went to St. Pat's, who I knew and who I always got along with. But unfortunately, he got into some trouble and he knifed somebody. And that was the worst thing that happened. It was so random and so out there. But in the movie, it's just like I said, casual knife fight. This is a Saturday thing.
Maybe the one at St. Pat's would have been more casual if that guy had just been like, hey, somebody throw this guy a knife. We all have one. Come on.
We were all bringing knives to school at the time, so.
Even just his description of what they were going to do. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but he was like, yeah, just like a stick, not like a slice or whatever. Like, we're not like cutting each other up. You just want to like jab and then pull out. You're like, what?
It's okay. It sounds worse. Right?
It does. It does sound worse.
I'm going to poke a bunch of holes in you instead of just like slicing a little line on your skin. Wow. Okay. This kind of brings me to something I wanted to say is I really liked Buzz.
Yes.
He's probably my favorite character.
Yes. Charming. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed him too. But I think that's because of a difference between the script and the movie in that they took out the opening scene. Did you notice that?
I noticed that. That pissed me off.
Yeah. So in that opening scene, they set up Buzz and his relationship to the other characters and they're evil when they jump that man with all the bags of groceries and such. And then in the movie, you just see Jim with the toy monkey and there's no like, where did this come from or anything like that. He just like is walking and happens upon a monkey and then puts that monkey to bed, which was also not in the script and super adorable.
Really? You really like that? I did not like that scene at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, for one, I didn't like the music.
Okay.
I know it's from that time. They had those, it was a voice singing, right? Kind of just doing, hitting notes. That was of that time, but I just didn't I didn't care for him lying down, tucking in the monkey. I didn't know what was the point, and I just didn't care for it.
Okay. Maybe that's like the 2 classes I've spent in acting coming through, me thinking that I've learned something from those, being like, oh, that's like a moment that was a choice that he made in that moment. He was just following his impulses and he saw this monkey and he saw some paper and he decided to tuck it in. And that wasn't the director saying anything. And I'm like, oh my God, James Dean, you're a genius. And this is why, because you tuck in monkeys.
Yeah, if only you tucked in more monkeys back.
If only I tucked in more monkeys.
Yeah, no, maybe you're right. I don't have that perspective on it. I only felt disappointed that they didn't have that starting off with Buzz and the gang.
Yeah.
So I was going to hate that starting scene from the get-go.
Okay, yeah. And in the car, when Buzz picks up Judy and they first meet Jim, they reference the trouble. Like Judy and Buzz talk about it really quick and then he just kind of like shrugs it off. And there's like no answers as to what the trouble was that he was in prior to that moment. That is now cut out of the script and not in the movie. So yeah, like if you weren't paying attention, you would have never really known that maybe Buzz was a troublemaker at all. Because I mean, before the knife and after our introduction to him, the like meanest thing he does is like that crab impression. And then
true.
like doesn't laugh at Jim's moo.
The moo comes out of nowhere a little bit, right?
Does it? I mean, Buzz impersonated a rat, and then Jim impersonated a cow, which is what they were taking from the planetarium, like visuals, right?
No, it's true. And I'm just talking, like, it's very clear in the movie he's trying his hardest.
Yeah, very true. It seemed too like Buzz didn't really want to engage in this stuff either.
I think we're coming to the conclusion that Buzz was the real hero of this film.
He was the real hero.